He tried to keep Keith from going to prison for what he did to Maximilian and Vanessa Dorval. What's worse is that he tried using you to get Keith to walk off scot-free. If you ask me, I think Finnegan deserves to spend his final days rotting somewhere out there by himself. What matters is that you're okay and that you're alive. But Ulissa isn't. And Vanessa might have lost hers because I did something so stupid. And now I've got to convince the rest of the family that I'm on their side. If you could deceive a scoundrel like Isidore, then you can deceive any Russo. Isidore just handed me these files, Gianni. He wanted you to confirm the budget for this new advertising project he has. Of course, he tried to reach out to me last minute, right before I head off. Sounds like younger siblings never stop being annoying, no matter how old they get. I don't know about other siblings, but having Isidore as a brother isn't for the weak. What are you doing here, Ben? Let me remind you that I used to live here. Besides, I came by to see you. Just to see me. Mom reached out and told me how you've been dealing with things. I'll just be blunt. She told me that you're blaming yourself for what happened to Ulissa. Nice place you've got here, Mom. Thank you, Alan. Even though I no longer have room service, it's nice to have a place that I can truly call my own. I'm happy for you, Mom. And you'll also be happy to hear that I've got good news for you. I could use some good news. What is it? Finnegan's been fired. Did you hear the news? What news, Shelley? It's about Finnegan. Did he wake up? No, he's been fired and someone else will be the new police commissioner. Working for Isidore certainly hasn't been easy. I can't even begin to imagine knowing him on a personal level like you do. Count yourself lucky, Vivian. It seems like your brother makes your life difficult. Despite that, I'm sure that there's some love there, deep down inside. The second that Isidore senses the love is when he's most dangerous. Let me save you time, Ben. Whatever you say won't change what happened that day, and it won't change the fact that you weren't the one who brought the gun to school. But I should have known that Keith would, especially since he pulled out a knife on me not too long ago. Don't beat yourself up, Max. The only idiot in this mess is Keith. He could have avoided a life sentence if he had only accepted responsibility for stalking Vanessa instead of going berserk and taking Ulissa's life. Please don't end up like me. Why would you consider that to be good news, Alan? Because Finnegan was clearly unqualified for the job, and the powers that be made sure to provide this town with a more qualified police commissioner. And you think that it's fair that Finnegan is unable to defend himself after what Keith did to him? The fact that Keith got a hold of Finnegan's gun is enough proof that defending himself would have been a waste of time. Besides, it's not likely that Finnegan will get the chance to defend himself ever again. Did you hear who the new police commissioner might be? From what I gathered, it's a man from out of town named Isaac Pierce, who will be the new police commissioner. He set up a town meeting so that Valley Park can be acquainted with him. The fact that he's willing to communicate with the community seems like a good sign. He already sounds much better than Finnegan since Finnegan proved to us that he wasn't fit before going into a coma. I just can't help but wonder what he'll do once he wakes up. What do you mean? I've already said too much. That's clear. It seems like you consider your younger brother to be some sort of backstabber. You said that, not me. But you're the one who implied it. It was really nice talking with you, Vivian. But I think it's time for you to step out of my office. Don't worry, Ben. I'm not gonna turn to substances again like you did growing up. Good, but that's not what I'm talking about. Then what did you mean? I meant that one of the reasons why I turned to substances in the first place was because of the guilt I felt for so long. If you're referring to Tia Elvira, then I don't see why you would feel responsible. You were just a little kid. You couldn't do anything. But for years, I felt like I could have done something. At times, I'd wonder if I could have ran fast enough before Devante could get the chance to hurt Elvira, or if I could have ran into one of the rooms to call 911 once I heard Elvira screaming. I'm really sorry you had to go through that, but our situations are completely different. How could you be so cruel? You know the sort of family I grew up in, Mom. But what about Finnegan? Don't you think his cruelty had something to do with Keith striking him with his own gun? So what is Finnegan supposed to do once he wakes up and finds out what his son did at the school and that he lost his job? I don't know, Mom, and frankly, I couldn't care less. I suggest you give up on Finnegan, just like I had to give up on Dr. Murphy. Terry left you, Alan. As for Finnegan, he had no choice. Try not to worry about all of that, Shelley. There's not anything we can do. We don't even know if Finnegan will ever wake up, but there's still a possibility. Before he ended up in that coma, I had no idea that man could be so dark. It's not like he can blame anyone for the mess he got himself in. He has himself to blame for his part in this catastrophe and has no basis to enact revenge. Keith had no reason to seek revenge either, but he felt like he had every reason to get back at the world, and Ulissa ended up paying the price. Since Finnegan is that boy's father, I can't even begin to imagine what he might do. I apologize, Gianni. I didn't mean to offend you. Believe me, it's nothing personal. It's just that you work under my brother. I'm not going to tell Isidore about our conversation, except I can't take that risk. Again, it was great speaking with you, Vivian. You're hard to crack, big bro, but I'll gain your trust somehow. You're right. Ulissa and Elvira's passing are two completely different circumstances. But what those two share is that a monster viciously took their lives. Let me ask you something, Ben. If Wanda Mitchell spoke up about Devontae's affair with Tia Elvira, do you think Elvira would still be alive? There's no use thinking about what could have happened. It won't rewrite history, Max. Exactly. I'm gonna have to live with the fact that I couldn't keep Ulissa alive for the rest of my life. You couldn't wait to rub that in my face, could you, Mom? That's not what I was trying to do, Alan. Bottom line, if Finnegan wakes up, and that's a huge if, he'll only feel like there's nothing left for him in Valley Park since he lost his job. And if he ends up feeling that way, then he'll drop you in a heartbeat. Do you think that Finnegan would try to hurt people? I honestly don't know what he'll do or what he's even capable of doing, Jeremiah. And the unknown is what worries me the most. Finnegan is powerless. Even if he gets out of the coma, he'll still be powerless, Shelley.